Hello everyone, welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday the 2nd of December 2024 to Friday the 6th of December 2024. My name is Vishal. Let's get started. All right, so let's start with some key levels on the Nifty to begin with. So let's change this to the Nifty chart. And there will be some key levels on different time frames that we'll be talking about. So we'll just specifically focus on those levels because those are going to be the key levels. So as you can see now, I have changed my layout of my graph slightly to give you a little bit of a more multi-time frame view of the different levels on different charts. But here are the key levels. Let's start with the 15-minute first. So on the 15 minutes, we have this level, rally-based rally, two levels stacked up close to each other, 23,731 up to 23,607. So this is going to be a key level of demand on the Nifty. Let's go to yeah, let's go to the 180-minute chart. Yeah, on the 180-minute chart, we have this drop-based drop level, again, a tested level. So it is plotted in a different color. As you can see, slightly, it shows that the level has been tested. Of course, you do have this area over here, but I also sense that there will be something within this area also. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this level plotted, 25,202 to 25,503. This is where I think the maximum unfilled orders could be at this point. Just just barely a touch and a big fall in the zone, right? So keep a close watch on this supply zone 25,202 to 25,503 on the 180-minute charts of the Nifty. Okay, we are going to look at the Bank Nifty levels now. The Bank Nifty, there is a gap level here from 51,271 to 51,040. This is going to be a key level of demand on the 15 minutes. And then on the 75-minute chart, you have this supply zone over here, which are two levels stacked upon each other, 52,817 to 53,351. These are going to be key levels of supply and demand in the Bank Nifty for this week. And then you also have on the daily chart a little bit further away level, which is the level of demand, which is at 49,467 to 48,862. This is going to be a key level of demand based on the higher time frame. So what we could expect looking at the higher time frame right now, that Bank Nifty could lead to a little bit of consolidation with a slight bearish bias since we have since we are closer to higher time frame supply. So anytime the price comes into these areas, we might see some selling pressure on the Bank Nifty. All right, let's move on to the next index now. We have the Nifty Financial Services. So let's wait for the charts to populate, and then we will talk about some of the key levels. All right, so let's quickly look through some of the key levels for Nifty Financial Services. Let's remove all the tools if there are any markings or anything on my chart. So we'll do the levels from scratch. So as you can see, I have some predefined levels already plotted on the chart. You can see that right now, as we speak, prices are coming very, very close to this level of supply, 24,056 to 24,138. And this is also because of the fact that, Bank Nifty is closer to a higher time frame supply. So what can we see next on Nifty Financial Services? We can see a price or the price levels coming down to close this gap, 23,673. And there is a possibility that after that, we might see a trend continuation to the upside. So this is what is seen on the chart. There is a possibility that we will fill this gap today and then will most probably continue moving to the upside. If we look at the higher time frame chart of Nifty Financial Services on the daily chart, again, we came very, very close to this area of supply. So seems to be that this is a strong area of supply. And right now there is no level of demand. So price will not have any hesitation in coming down towards 23,466 to 23,089 level of demand. So keep a close watch on the daily chart and also keep a close watch on the 15-minute chart of Nifty Financial Services. On the other time frame, the price levels are not suggesting anything. On the daily chart also, the level of demand is still a little further away from price. Okay, let's move on now to the next index. We are going to add the Nifty Mid Select. So just make sure that you type in the correct symbol. And let's check some of the key levels for MidCap Nifty. All right, so let's talk about some key levels on the MidCap Nifty. Let's start with the 5-minute chart here. So we have this level of supply, 12,714 to 12,755 on the 5 minutes, drop-based drop. Price has come here once, tested and fallen down. There is a possibility that this level might not hold now since the price has already tested once. But then if we go on the 15-minute charts, what is interesting to see is that there are two levels of supply, one on top of each other. So 12,734 to 12,854 will be key levels of supply. And in case if the price does get here, we might see some selling pressure before the price comes down. In case if the price do not hit this level of supply and because of, for some reason, the market starts to push to the downside, then we might see prices coming and filling this gap of 12,321 to 12,242 on the 15 minutes time frame, and then price continuing again to move to the upside. So yes, there are these gaps that are seen on the MidCap Nifty, but other than that, I don't see any higher time frame level of supply on any of these charts here. Okay, so keep a close watch on this level of demand, 12,329 to 12,262 on the 25-minute chart, and the level of supply, 12,734 to 12,854, which is going to be a key level of supply for MidCap Nifty on the 15 minutes chart. All right, now let's move on from the Nifty indices to the indices on the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is the Sensex. So let's load the Sensex chart and let's quickly gauge the levels for Sensex. All right, so let's look at the Sensex charts now. And if you look at the Sensex and the Nifty, more or less the levels are falling in line with each other. So if we just look at the 15-minute chart first, which is over here, and this area of demand, 78,390 to 77,972. This is going to be a key level of demand. Prices are a little further away from this level of demand, so we expect the price to retrace and then continue its move to the upside. Just in case if that does not happen and price continues to move to the upside, then on the 25-minute chart, we have a key level of supply from 80,629 to 80,921. So this is going to be a key area of supply. Several times price has come here and given a big fall. So we are assuming that in case if the prices get back here, the prices might tend to fall from this area as well. Okay. On the higher time frame, the supply levels are a little further up. But right now, since we are taking it, we are probably creating a little bit of a weekly bias. We just want to discuss the levels which are closer to the current market price. So let us see how Sensex pans out. Let's move on to the next index now. We are going to have a look at the Bankex. All right. So again, if you look at the Bankex, then more or less we can compare the Bankex with more or less the behavior of the Bank Nifty and the Finnifty. So if you look again at the 15-minute chart, key levels of demand, 78,390. I'm sorry, this is the Sensex. So I need to load the Bankex chart. Just give me 1 second. Let's wait for the Bankex charts to load. I thought the charts had already loaded, but seems like they won't. All right, so here we are on the Bankex charts now. And like I said earlier, the Bankex charts look very, very similar to the charts on the Nifty. So let's start off first by removing all the tools here. Perfect. So here we are on the 5-minute chart. We see two levels of demand, 58,124 to 57,922, and then just a level below that, that is 58,028 to 57,850. These are going to be key levels of demand for the Bankex index. The same levels or similar levels are seen on the 15-minute chart as well. What is very interesting also is very similar to the Bank Nifty. We have this 15-minute supply zone from 60,100 to 60,527, right? So price barely touched the level and has come down, which means that if the price gets back here, we might see another fall, right? So we'll have to first gauge to see what happens if the price fills this gap and then moves up, or it goes up without filling the gap. And that's what is going to dictate the next move on the Bankex index. If you look at the 75-minute chart, the supply zones are much higher. This gap level is in contention, so most likely to get filled, and then probably the next move to the upside. If you look at the 25-minute chart, we have had a reaction from this level over here. So prices indeed have filled the gap on Bankex, unlike the other indices, where prices have not yet come into that level. And that's the reason why Bankex is facing a little bit of pressure. And most likely, it's likely to fill this gap of 58,456 to 57,990. So let us keep a close watch on the Bankex. Daily supply is in control right now, and there is no clear level of demand. The only level of demand on the daily chart is this area here, which is very, very similar to the area on the Bank Nifty. So keep a close watch on Bankex. Let's move on to the index heavyweights now. So let's go with Reliance first. Go back to NSE. All right, so let's have a look at Reliance now. And Reliance, we will start off first with the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, let me just remove all the tools here. So Reliance is reacting from a very, very key level of demand. Now there are two levels of supply that you see on the weekly chart. One is the one that is plotted by the TZI indicator, and the other is the level on top of that, that is 1364 to 1406. So keep a close watch on this level of supply. We do have levels of demand on Reliance further down. So there's a possibility that price could go right up to this level of supply, react from this level of supply and come further down, or price might continue to move towards the upper level of supply. What are the smaller time frames indicating right now? The smaller time frames are indicating that price is more or less reacting from this 1268 gap level. If price comes here again, it will be interesting to see whether this gap level holds. But if you look at the slightly higher time frame, 75-minute chart, so price is currently reacting from a 75-minute level. So it seems like at the moment right now, there is a little bit of pressure on Reliance to move to the upside. So unless and until this level holds, we might continue to see a little bit of a bearish pressure on Reliance. And once price gets back into this 1237, 1217 handle, then we might see a potential trend continuation to the upside. But till then, because the weekly demand zone is in control of price, just be careful on shorting this in the long run. Let's move on to the next stock, HDFC Bank. All right, so let's look at HDFC Bank, and what we see on interest, what we see that has happened or taking place on HDFC Bank is that a few days back, we saw a potential breakout of this 1789 level. And what this breakout did was it probably forced a lot of the retail traders and investors to buy into this breakout. Now, whenever the market breaks a very, very strong level of resistance, one way of confirmation is to wait till the price closes above that resistance point, right? So if you look very, very carefully over here, did the price close above the resistance point? Absolutely, yes. Now, does it mean that we have to enter on the next candle to trade this breakout? So the concept tells us that whenever there is a breakout, and if the breakout has to sustain to the upside, then there is a very likely possibility that price will come to retest that breakout point on the opposite side as support. So in this case now, what is happening or what we are trying to see is that this resistance that has broken on HDFC Bank is more or less acting as support. Now, what is going to be interesting to see is how does the daily candle close? Does the daily candle close below the support or does it close above the support, right? So if it closes below the support, then again, this might put a little bit of a selling pressure on, the amateurs or the novices, and then price will start moving further down. What is interesting to see is we see a level of demand from 1759 to 1780. Preferably, this is a good level of demand. So we might expect to see price retracing back towards the 1759 to 1718 handle, which will probably also bring Bank Nifty closer to those 15-minute levels of demand. And if that happens simultaneously, then we might expect to see HDFC Bank moving up, and then automatically we will also see Bank Nifty also pushing towards those higher time frame supplies once again. All right. So let us see what happens for this week. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. If you are still not a member of our Sher Khan Education YouTube channel, hit the subscription button. Do like our video, do post your valuable comments, and we will take into consideration those comments and probably include some of the things that you mentioned in those comments. So looking forward to see you all next week. Have a great trading week, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.